Hey, I'm Mark Scott. So the fundamental problem with pay-to-play sites is simply this. They're in business for themselves. They're not in business for you. Now, I suppose in some senses that's not necessarily a bad thing. After all, in North America in particular, we're a capitalist society. We create business to create profit. And that's exactly what the pay-to-play sites have done. They've created a business and they've found a way to make profit. But they're not working for you. No matter what they may say, no matter how they may try to spin it, you need to understand this very basic principle. They are not working for you. They're providing leads for you, but they're not working for you. At the end of the day, if you submit 500 auditions and never book a single voiceover job, do you think that the casting sites really care about that? That is completely inconsequential to them at the end of the day, as long as they've collected their membership fee. Whether it's the $400 fee or the $2,500 fee or even the $5,000 fee. They don't care whether or not you're making work. They just care that they are collecting their membership fee because that is their profit model. Think about this. If a casting site posts, say, 100 jobs in a day or even 150 or even 200 jobs in a day, what do you suppose the odds of you booking one of those jobs are when certain sites claim to have over 125,000 members? Like I said, the pay-to-play sites are not working for you. They're working for themselves. And by allowing them to be such a big part of your business, you're actually giving away a great deal of control over your voiceover business. You're allowing pay-to-play sites to set your rates. You're allowing pay-to-play sites to market you and brand you how they see fit. One particular site brands their talent as cheap voiceover talent. That's not the way I want to be branded. They don't even allow you to communicate with your clients sometimes. Some of them now act as the middleman, the go-between, so that you can't even have direct contact with your client. All they care about is collecting their membership fees and collecting their commissions. At the end of the day, they are in business to make a profit. They are not in business to make you a profit. If you book a voiceover job, that's great, but it doesn't really matter to them. So, allowing the pay-to-plays to be such a big part of your business is actually giving away control over your business. And this was something that it took me a little while to figure out because I was a big believer in the pay-to-play sites. In fact, for a couple of years, I had memberships on 3 of the sites, and I was spending all day, every day, bouncing back and forth, auditioning between all 3 of those sites. It was all that I ever had time to do. But there came a point when I realized that I was spending 8 hours a day submitting auditions, and maybe that only resulted in 1 or 2 jobs. And that meant that the time that I was investing wasn't generating an ROI that was worth it. So there had to be a better model. I needed to find a way to find my own clients. I needed to learn marketing techniques that allowed me to build my own client base and grow my own voiceover business and stop relying on somebody else and somebody else's model to grow my business for me. That was when it was time to start working the pay-to-play sites out of my business model. Because here's something that you need to realize. We've all got the same 24 hours in a day, and most of us will spend maybe 8 or 10 of those hours working. So if you're spending 6 or 8 of those 8 or 10 hours auditioning on the casting sites, how much time is left over for you to build your own business? How much time is left over for you to do your own marketing? How much time is left over for you to find your own clients? When you think about it that way, there's really not a lot of time left. And that was why I realized that I needed to start eliminating the pay-to-plays, because as long as I was subscribing to their model of business and spending all of my time using them and doing auditions through them, basically I became reliant on them. And that is not a sustainable model because, like I said, they're in business for themselves. So in 2013, I finally started eliminating the pay-to-play sites from my voiceover business model. And all of the time that I was freeing up from auditioning, I started devoting directly to marketing. It was time for me to go out and find my own clients. Clients that I could set the rates with. Clients that I was allowed to communicate with. Clients that I could build a relationship with. Clients who would ultimately come to recognize my abilities as a talent, and rather than making me audition for all of their projects, they would feel comfortable enough to just start sending me scripts. So now even less of my time was given every day to auditioning, and more time was given to marketing and recording actual booked voiceovers. Now, this is a business model that is going to work for you. This is a business model that will create growth and sustainability. Want proof? Well, if you watched my previous video on talking about the voiceover dream, I threw out some income statistics for you. 2012, when I got started out, I made around $14,000. 2013, I made around $40,000. And in 2014, not using a paid membership on a single one of the casting sites, I made $75,000. That is the most money that I have ever made in my life, not just as a voice actor, but period. At any point in my professional life, $75,000 in 2014 was my highest income, and I did it without a single casting site. That goes to show that this is possible, that this can be done. All you have to do is direct the focus from all of that auditioning to marketing, to building your own client base, to finding your own clients. Otherwise, you will continue to be trapped in that pay-to-play mentality. You will continue to spend all of your days auditioning. I can't tell you how many times a day I get an email from a talent who says, Mark, I've been on particular pay-to-play site. I've been on this one. I've been on that one. I've submitted 100 auditions and haven't booked a job. I've submitted 200 auditions and haven't booked a job. 2 weeks ago, I received an email from a talent who said, I have submitted 500 auditions and haven't booked a single job. At some point, you have to question whether or not the model is working for you, whether or not you're getting the return on investment. Now, even if you're on the casting sites and you are making a little bit of money, I ask the same question. Have you ever sat down and done the calculations on your return on investment? If you're submitting auditions all day, every day, maybe you're submitting 20 auditions a day and that's a total of 100 auditions a week, and of those 100 auditions a week, maybe you're booking 1 or 2 voiceover jobs. If you're breaking even at the end of the year on paying your subscription fees, or maybe paying your subscription fees with a little bit of a profit, is it really a sustainable business model? Is it really something that's working for you? Or could that time be spent better in other ways, like direct marketing your voiceover business? Here's something else that I've found in my own experience in the last year of direct marketing to clients. More and more clients are growing frustrated with the casting process for this very simple reason. If they submit an audition on a particular casting site and they get 100 responses, they don't have time to sort through 100 auditions, especially if they're cranking out a lot of videos. Maybe they're posting a couple of casting calls a week, and all of a sudden they've got to spend how many hours a day listening to multiple 100 auditions on their different projects? They're not happy about that either. So when they can find a talent that they can work with directly, that they know that they can trust, they love to work with that talent. This has happened to me several times where clients have come to me and said, Mark, we don't want to be on the casting sites anymore because it's not a practical model for us. And as a result, I've been able to book them as direct clients. Now I can set my own rates with them. I can have my own conversations with them. I can develop relationships with them. I'm not paying any commissions or fees for the opportunity to be able to work with them. This is why I think the direct marketing approach is the way to build a sustainable voiceover business. Now, I know there are people that are out there that are having success on the pay-to-play sites, and I will admit to you fully that several years ago when I was using them, I was having some success, and I did create some great relationships with some great clients before some of the business models of the sites changed. If you are on the pay-to-plays and you have found a way to make them work for you, I'm not telling you to abandon them. If that is something that is working for you, then I'm saying make that one piece of the puzzle. Don't build your entire voiceover business around that one thing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say. Make sure that you are carving out time every day to be doing your own marketing and building your own client base. But for those of you that are on the casting sites and you are paying those membership fees and you're not seeing that return, stop the madness. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings and I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, really, if you're dropping that $400 every year and you're not making that $400 back, is it really great opportunities that they're giving you? Is it really a model that's working for your business? Do you not think that by sending out some emails on your own and doing some direct marketing on your own, you could generate that $400 that you paid for your casting membership and then some? Which model of business would you rather be working with? Would you rather be working with the business model where you spend all day submitting to somebody else's auditions, or spend all day creating your own clients? Which one do you think is going to grow and sustain your business faster? Again, this is not about knocking the pay-to-play sites. They have found a model that works for them to create profit. That is business. What I am saying is you need to look at your own business. You need to examine your own model on how you are going to create profit. Are you going to outsource that to the casting sites, or are you going to do it yourself? And there are so many tools that are available to you today to be able to market your business. Social media is free. You can get on Facebook, you can get on Twitter, you can get on LinkedIn, and you can find clients in all of these places. Google is the largest search engine on the planet. You can use Google and you can find clients by doing the right searches. And then it's just a matter of sending some emails. Quick, simple emails that introduce yourself as a voice actor, provide a link to a demo, and ask whether or not there's an opportunity to work with them. This model works. I have proven it in my own business, and I know that if you do it, you could prove it in yours as well. Couple of things when you're getting on social media. If you're new to Twitter or Facebook or any of the different platforms, you need to know that getting on these sites and broadcasting your message is not the way to effectively use social media. You can't just go on Twitter, post a link to your demo 5 or 6 times a day, and wait for the voiceover jobs to roll in. That's not the way that social media is designed. You need to find people that you can build relationships with. You need to engage with people through these social media platforms, and as those relationships develop, opportunities will present themselves. I have relationships with clients that I nurtured for a year or even 2 years before it led to work. But now that the relationship is established and the work has started to roll in, now it comes in consistently. This is a process that is going to take time. And yes, there are going to be those days when you're going to reach out to somebody and they're going to book you for a voiceover the next day. Don't get me wrong, but there are also going to be times when you're going to reach out once. And then a few weeks later, you're going to reach out again. And maybe in a month or 2 after that, you're going to reach out again. And it might take 6 or 8 months to get the ball rolling. But all the while, you are creating opportunities for yourself. These are your clients that you are creating. Does it work? Absolutely it does. My income last year is evidence of this. So if you are tired of the pay-to-play mentality, if you are tired of relying on somebody else to build your voiceover business for you, direct marketing is what it's going to take to build your voiceover business on your own. Want to find out more? Sign up for my free newsletter at newsletter.marcscottvoiceover.com. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. I'm always posting voiceover tips there as well that will help you grow your voiceover business. Practical advice, lessons that I have learned along the way. You can check that out at youtube.marcscottvoiceover.com. And of course, my voiceover blog is there, and there's a couple of years worth of archives, all free content, all lessons that I have learned that are going to help you grow your business, help you learn how to become a student of marketing, and help you achieve your voiceover dream. Check that out at marcscottvoiceover.com.